Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang.
Hare Krishna, welcome to our channel, Bhagavad-gita. Here it is, because we have Bhagavad-gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my name is Labanga Latika. We are in the 10th chapter. Arjuna has gotten to know so much about Krishna, and he's very satisfied. He started out the Bhagavad-gita because he didn't know it was the Bhagavad-gita at the time. He was in a situation where things were very confusing, and sometimes it's like that. You have to make a decision, but none of the alternatives seem to be very good. And he turned to Krishna and expressed his frustration, and then Krishna smiled a little bit and said, "Yes, okay, Arjuna, you've missed the main point." And he starts out the second chapter speaking about the soul. And then we get to hear about Krishna and how we connect to him, and how that is actually, I would say, the central central point in the human life form. And how Krishna spoke the very central verses in the 10th chapter. And Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth everything that you said. And you alone, by your own internal potency, you alone know yourself. Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe." So those are all suitable names for Krishna, because he's God and he is all those things. And today we're reading text 16. Vaktum arhasya sheshena divya atma vibhutayaha Yabhir vibhutibhir lokan imangstvang vyapyatisthasi. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulence by which you pervade all these worlds. So that's Arjuna again speaking to Krishna. So now his questions, they are a little more focused. It's not just everything is hopeless, what do I do? But now Krishna has directed him directed him in a certain direction. So that is the goal of the human form of life, to realize our spiritual identity and to connect to Krishna again. And in order to connect to Krishna, we have to know how to do it and who he is. And when Arjuna heard more about who Krishna is, he immediately was very satisfied with that. But that's not the kind of satisfied you get when you're hungry and then you eat something and then you're full and then you don't want to eat anything more. But with Krishna, it's like once you get in touch with Krishna again, then you want more of Krishna. So that's what Krishna is saying here. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences. Purport. In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have. And through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all-pervading nature. People in general, and the impersonalists in particular, concern themselves mainly with the all-pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So that's why it's really useful to have these commentaries, because you go in the verse and you think you have a point, but then there is another point and another layer of another point. And by hearing from Prabhupada, who in turn heard from his spiritual master, who in turn heard from his spiritual master, the disciplic succession is not just about, you have some knowledge, like you have some mathematical knowledge. So the basis, like 2 plus 2 is 4. And then somebody learns that and they turn it over to the next person. There's not so many layers to that knowledge. It's just a plain fact. With Krishna, though, you understand something, then you can understand another aspect. And you can also, especially while you're still in this world, is very useful to understand all the misconceptions. Because sometimes we're saying that God is great, and that's all. And really, it's not all, it's just the beginning. It's like if we get to know, we have a new neighbor, and then we look at the house, and we look at the cars, and we conclude, our new neighbor is very rich. Oh yes, but we don't even know them. We don't know their name, we don't know their family, their background, anything. So with God, it's not enough to know that there is God. Like sometimes we say that there are two classes of people. Either you believe in God or you don't believe in God. And we're saying believing in God is like a very basic starting point. But it means a lot more. Like, do you believe in God? But what does that mean? It's not just a word. I believe in God and therefore I'm a good person and I will not go to hell. Who is God? What's his name? What is he doing? What is he like? So that is Krishna's person. But here, which I didn't catch in the first reading, but here Arjuna is asking about his divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. And then we're actually speaking about Krishna's energies and how they are understood from the perspective of being in a material universe. And that's quite interesting, because in the Bhagavad-gita and the Bhagavatam, in all these traditions, you very often have that. You have like a dialogue. Somebody gives the knowledge, and then another person asks some questions, and then they get, we get a wider perspective, we go deeper in some areas, and all in all, dialogue is the more dynamic, it's more alive than just some statements of facts. So I think I will jump to the next verse, text 17. Kathang vidyamaham yoging stvang sada parichintayan keshu keshu chabhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. O Krishna, O supreme mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? Purport. As it is stated in the previous chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is covered by his Yoga Maya. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Now, Arjuna is convinced that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Godhead. But he wants to know the general process by which the all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. Common men, including the demons and atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yoga Maya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjuna for their benefit. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind. So Arjuna, out of his mercy, because he's a Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for the common man the understanding of the all-pervasiveness of the Supreme Lord. He addresses Krishna specifically as Yogin, because Sri Krishna is the master of the Yoga Maya energy, by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic persons in this world. The word keshu keshu chabhavishu refers to material nature. The word bhava means physical things. Because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representation. So this is a method. It's a method of meditation to gradually get to the full point. So Arjuna is standing in front of Krishna, and he knows Krishna because they are great friends. And at this point Arjuna is also... Because it's interesting, we hear of the Yoga Maya, and Prabhupada speaks how this Maya covers Krishna. So people in general in the material world who don't have a high level of spiritual realization, they cannot see Krishna. But sometimes even those who are very close to Krishna, who are very devoted and loving and very full in their realization of their relationship with Krishna, Krishna covers them with his Yoga Maya as well, for the sake of the relationship, for the sake of the exchange, the dynamics of the relationship. So Krishna's devotees, Arjuna also, at some point here, he's apologizing to Krishna. Oh, I just treated you like a regular person. I was sitting together with you, talking with you, joking with you. And I'm afraid I've made a mistake because now I realize that you are God. But actually it's Krishna's arrangement. At that point, knowing that Krishna is God, knowing, basically, they do know it. The philosophy is still known. But thinking about it is not so meaningful. Like Mother Yashoda is Krishna's mother. And when she has to call Krishna to come for his meal or for his bath, it's not so meaningful to think of him as God, because that would interfere with the relationship. So that's also we have heard in the Bhagavad-gita from Krishna says, from me comes knowledge, memory and forgetfulness. So basically the only thing we have is our desire. And the more we get entangled in this material identification and this material worldview and this bodily concept of life, the more we anchor our desires in our bodily identity, in our senses. And then Krishna allows those desires to take place in this material world. And he helps us to remember the things we want to remember in order to enjoy the things that we want to enjoy. But when a person becomes a little bit sincere about Krishna, then Krishna also helps in the other direction by showing things as they are. And here Arjuna is specifically speaking about how we can look at things in this world and remember Krishna by them. And we will have a long list here of Adityas I am Vishnu, of light I am the sun, among the stars I am the moon, of the Rudras I am Lord Shiva. So we will read those one at a time, because we're going to read everything in the Bhagavad-gita. But it's that level of meditation which is very helpful, because a person who has a fully spiritual vision and a pure love of God will see Krishna in everything, directly and indirectly. But for the rest of us, it's very helpful that we see the sun and then we think, oh yeah, of all the lights, Krishna is the sun. And we see the moon and we think, of all the stars, Krishna is the moon. So that is how Krishna's energies and opulences manifest in this world. But Krishna is not, he's not saying, well, if you can't love me completely, then, then it's hopeless. No. He will give us all, wherever we start, he will always give us a way to come closer to him more and more. So that's what we are going to read in this chapter. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.